I see your request and your desire for peace, and I'm gonna bulldozer right through that with my butt.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna bulldozer.
Literally with my butt.
Yeah.
That hot couple gonna get you stoned. That hot couple.
Hi, friends.
Welcome to That High Couple Podcast, where we talk about all things life, love, cannabis, and everything in between.
Yeah, guys. Welcome to the first episode.
Yeah, this is kind of a crazy milestone moment for us. It feels like it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, we have been talking about starting a podcast for a little while now. We know we're a little late to the game, recording our first episode January 2025. Feels like everybody and their mother kind of has their own podcast right now, but hey, we're stepping into the game too. Hopefully there's still room for us.
Right. Listen, if nothing else, we are an example that it's never too late to chase your dreams. Hopefully you can help make these dreams happen. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. So we're Alice and Clark, aka That High Couple, for anyone that doesn't know.
Yeah.
We've been creating cannabis content online for about 10 years now on YouTube as well as Instagram. But we've been together in a relationship since 2012, married since 2018. Long time. And we're basically daily cannabis consumers, but we don't really fit into the traditional stoner stereotype. So we thought that was a fun and unique perspective that it might be a good idea to start a podcast and be able to give some relationship advice.
Yeah, especially because, in our humble opinions, we feel like we are keeping it rocking and rolling. Still feels like we're in the honeymoon phase and more than a decade into this relationship, which is wild to me. Still feel like I'm sitting next to my best friend in the world, which is like, I mean, what else could you want out of a marriage? Come on, guys.
Come on, guys. I know we're living in the golden timeline here, at least as far as our relationship goes. The rest of the world, we'll get to in a minute. Start with some current events, but yeah, at least for us in this podcast, as I said, we've been making YouTube content for a while, but we thought it might be time to start something a little bit longer format, a way to actually connect with our community a little bit more. We're hoping that you guys are in need of some relationship advice. It could be a simple question. It could be a serious question. We're kind of open to all of it. On this first episode, we're going to start with like some Reddit questions, just, people asking the internet and just weigh in with our opinions on those. But yeah, we're hoping that, this helps kind of, build our community up even more, get the YouTube going a little bit more, kickstart it back up. We used to be on weekly episodes, then we kind of jumped to monthly, and we've been slacking a little bit. We recognize that, guys. So.
No, but yeah, the podcast, hoping we're going to do like weekly.
Fingers crossed. I know, right now, you can hold it to us. Episode 1, we are, the goal is weekly episodes. So let's see.
Yeah, I'm honestly looking forward to just hopefully giving us some more, advice to people that are like in this community to, open that like door for dialogue with everyone. And then, like you said, just like have, hold space for this marriage. And so everyone can kind of get a little window keyhole size look into what makes us us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're, as you said, pretty successful relationship in our own humble opinion. Yeah. We go on lots of dates still, 10 plus years into the relationship. We travel lots. We put together a lot of fun itineraries. We've got 2 fur babies, 2 little kitties that we love very much.
Yes. Party of 4.
Party of 4. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm excited to just kind of like have that open discussion online and, really get into hopefully maybe helping some of our community too, answer some questions and, point in certain directions. So
right. I know. Yeah. Cause we definitely are known for like helping people online. I think our number one, our biggest videos on YouTube are like how to roll a joint, how like educating you on like how to do things. So maybe we can educate and hopefully discuss how to do relationships and love a little bit better.
Exactly. Yeah. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. We are sipping on some adult beverages right now, but these are alcohol free, but definitely still not for kids.
Yeah, this looks like Mountain Dew's older brother that, learned a couple of things in college. This is it's 100 milligrams split between the 2 of us.
Oh,
delicious.
Getting nice and elevated for this podcast.
There you go.
You guys, we'll say this now at the top, we'll repeat it again at the end, but if you do have any relationship advice that you want answered for future episodes, please email that to thathighcouplepod@gmail.com. And we'll get back to you. We can, start a little dialogue there and then read it on the air and hopefully help you guys solve some problems.
I mean, that it becomes official now. Like, the gates have been opened.
There's an official email address.
Right. I was like, oh no, we're doing it. We're in the thing. Yes.
Yeah. So I think we also kind of wanted to start format-wise off by, just current events. I feel like
current events and
catch
hot
you guys
takes.
up. Yeah, hot takes, things
like
that are going on right now, things going on in our lives. So as I mentioned earlier, we are recording this towards the end of January 2025. So
yes,
this year has been a doozy to start off, to say the least.
Yeah, January 2025 has been the craziest year of our lives already. What the hell?
Yeah. We're only, like 3 weeks in, and it's been a lot. We are based in Seattle, but we lived in 10 years, or we lived in LA for over 10 years.
Yeah, we met in LA, like got married in California, in Southern California. Like, we're very much LA, like, has a very big home in our heart. So yeah, this will start off this year by just seeing LA literally like Rome on fire. I'm just like,
it's so devastating, so awful. Our hearts go out to anybody listening to this that is affected by those fires whatsoever. We have lots of friends and family that is affected as well, and it's really unfortunate. We, have been posting resources on our page and everything on our Instagram, and trying to connect and making some donations. But yeah, it is. It's always been a thing in California. Fire was always a thing. I'm born and raised in San Diego, so like it was just always there. Yearly, there's a fire season, but this is beyond anything I've ever witnessed being born and raised in California. It's just insane.
Yeah, and it's crazy that of all the time that we like spent together in LA, that this just happens to me. We just, less than a year ago did we move to Seattle. And so it's crazy to be like seeing this from an outside perspective.
Yeah. I'm like, oh no, we were just there. Shit. Like, we might have had to evacuate. Shit. Like,
I know we like a lot of our favorite trails and hikes have already been like taken away. And we're just like, what is happening? No. That's not the kind of smoke we want to see coming out of LA.
Exactly. Exactly. That's not the kind of smoke we're fans of.
No.
But yeah, so that, got at least to touch on that for topics of what's going on right now. Personal topics, at least we did take a little road trip last weekend, and went to Tillamook, Oregon for the first time.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, we can talk about that's just like a fun, what's happening recently in our life. That was a fun little road trip down to, the Oregon coast.
Yeah.
Like that.
We drove through Oregon moving up from LA, but it was just a quick one night stop in Eugene, and then up to Seattle. But we never really checked out Portland. So the Tillamook Cheese Factory is about 30 minutes outside of Portland. And it is glorious.
So it really does feel like if Willy Wonka got into cheese instead of chocolate, like this is his setup here.
It's amazing. It is a whole facility with like a restaurant and a gift shop. You can do your own little self-guided tour. We did sign up for a cheese tour that also came with a cheese tasting, and we got to taste the current best cheddar in the world. Tillamook won best cheddar in the world for their 2014 like white cheddar, I think it was, aged white cheddar.
Oh, it was like their Maker's Mark Reserve.
Exactly. It was their like reserve label. But yeah, they were in some big European worldwide cheese competition last year in Portugal and took home best cheddar in the world. So that was, I'm not gonna lie, that was a highlight of my life, actually getting to try that at the Tillamook factory. It was a beautiful experience.
Talk about a travel bucket list. I would love to go to the international cheddar competition.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I was just excited to try the winner actually going to the competition. Oh, yeah, put that on the bucket list.
It's like a company that's all owned by farmers. It's a co-op. Like, I'm just like, yes.
It's several small farms all in the area banded together. It was very cool to learn the history of it. And yeah, all about cheese. They had a lot of ice cream there too. We spent over $250 in the gift shop to get those souvenirs. But they had lots of good stuff. So,
all right.
Shout out to Tillamook.
Shout out to Tillamook. I called it as soon as we started looking at you walk through the like gift shop to walking in. I was like, yeah, this is going to do some damage.
A lot of it was cheese too. We did buy some of that 2014 best cheddar in the world to take home. So, it's expensive cheese. It's the best in the world.
We're cheesed up. I know. We do have a fine palate appreciation for like at least like well-crafted things, cared for things.
As I sip my acid green infused
There's a lot of care. There's a lot of care that goes into this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle green.
I can tell. It's
juice.
high palate here.
Let discerning taste. That's what you're going to find from this podcast. A very discerning taste.
Very discerning.
You know, we could start off with some like highly recommended.
Highly recommended. That's a good little corner. Yeah, like a highly recommended corner. And actually, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, because listen,
I'm happy you brought this up. Yes.
You're already in my head because I mean, listen, it's I can pretty much attest that my Audi or my Innie would love you. I think that's what it is.
I think so too. I know. I agree. Yeah.
Talking about Severance.
Oh, so yeah, we just last night concluded the first season of Severance, and holy shit, that show is amazing.
I have to say up at the top, I am so sorry for any like true blue Severance fans that watched it as it like first got released and then had to wait the excruciating like multi-year, almost 3-year hiatus wait. For us, it's instantaneous. We go from the season 1 finale right into the season 2 premiere. Chef's kiss.
We're watching that today. I'm very excited. But yeah, Severance. I can't believe, they shot it in 2022. It's now 2025 and it's coming back for season 2. So yeah, our hearts go out to people that had to sit in that gap with all of this amazing content in their head. It's such a good show. It honestly reminds me of like The Leftovers or Mr. Robot. Just very, very heady, makes you ask a lot of good questions.
Yeah.
And just a lot of good cliffhangers too. Like it's very interesting, really well cast.
Yeah. And just also really well directed. Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't have put it past him because like we both love Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
I love
Tropic
I do
Thunder.
Love that. Yeah.
Love his stuff as a director, but like he's killing it in this TV series.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know. I was like, okay, I've seen Ben Stiller direct a couple things. I've seen him act in a lot more stuff, but it is kind of odd to see the credits pop up and just directed by Ben Stiller. And I'm like, whoa, he's just such an actor in my mind that it's odd to see him in a solo director role without him on screen at all either to accompany it. Props to him. He is a very, very talented director.
Dude, yeah, I remember it kind of made me feel like the first time you saw like Jim Carrey painting I'm just like, wait, how is someone this talented also tapping into another amazing talent? I'm like, get out of here, Ben Stiller. Yes.
We love it. Yeah. So yeah, if you have not seen Severance yet, highly recommend. Season 2 is starting now. I'm very sad that as soon as we catch up with it, we're going to have to wait week to week rather than night to night for episodes. But
I know, but we did it right.
It's so good. It's so good. At least we got to do that. Yeah. Which we didn't binge at all. I'm pretty proud of ourselves. At least for season 1, we did watch it one a night for 8 nights, however long it went. We couldn't go a night without watching it, but like we did savor it at least for a good week.
We both love watching the same things on TV and then being able to discuss it. And also that is where a lot of our like podcast love comes from, is listening to podcasts talking about some of our favorite media that we consume.
Yeah, I'll say shout out Bald Move. That is, one of our oldest, favoriteest podcasts that we've listened to for many years now. And they just cover TV and movies and media.
Right, two pro podcasters.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it's fun to be getting into the game now. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We've been watching Beast Games, which is fun.
Yeah.
Cool to see a YouTuber break into television like that on such a massive level.
Right.
He is a massive YouTuber. He's the biggest. I get that. But it's still fun to see someone make that jump and it be successful. Everybody that's on it seems very like, they know what they signed up for, like they are in it, they're enjoying it, they're here to win. Like it's fun, it's entertaining. It's, if you're into reality stuff like that, competition, it's worth a watch.
There you go.
Probably transition into actually giving some advice now.
Into like the what is this like what are we doing with this podcast?
The meat and potatoes.
Because so what we hope, with this podcast is that, we can give some relationship advice. Hey, to people that just, like have your best interest at heart. We are just two people just giving kind of friendly advice.
Yeah, we'll definitely come up with some kind of a legal tag to put at the end of this episode. Yeah. But of course, just saying it now, any advice given on this podcast should just be looked at as two stoner high best friends giving their opinion on a problem that you're telling them about. But please don't take anything too seriously. Don't take anything, go and take that advice and do something stupid and then sue us pretty much. So, it's all just friendly advice. We're not professional advice givers. We're not therapists. And, take it all with a grain of salt, all that good stuff.
We're not trying to take this too seriously.
don't, we don't want to get sued. So whatever needs to be said to prevent that from happening. Thank you.
Go. It should feel like a friendly, almost like FaceTime call,
We're
checking in.
getting high together, sharing a drink, and just giving you some advice, helping shoot the shit with you.
Your besties packing bowls of bud, looking out for you.
Or drinks.
Or drinks.
We love it.
All right, listen, we're sipping on the THC today.
Hey. All right. So as we said, starting off, because it's the first episode, we don't have any emails yet from you guys, but hopefully those start pouring in soon. But for now, we pulled up some good old fashioned Reddit questions, some am I the asshole, some r/relationship advice.
Oh, I got a good one from the Bumble subreddit.
Oh, from Bumble. There we go. See, we did a little searching around, but if you want to go first, go for it. If you got it pulled up,
Oh no, because I feel like I have what could be such an easy example of like when I think about like starting this podcast, I'm just like, okay, what are the, we're going to hopefully touch on any kind of like fun, serious relationship advice. But when I thought of like a starting point, I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty much what I would see is the wheelhouse of this podcast. So
Love
this
it.
is coming from I don't even know if we want to mention this is user No Wonder.
There we go.
There you go. User No Wonder. This is from the Bumble subreddit. What are your thoughts about dating a guy who smokes weed every day? I don't smoke and I haven't been in a relationship with someone like that. Any advice? Picture perfect. Yes. Talking about like what to do in a relationship with someone who is like a stoner, because we do have some experience with that.
We do have some experience with that.
Yes.
And even previous to dating each other,
Yes.
I know I definitely, I've been a stoner for probably a little bit longer than you have. And I could think of at least a couple guys in college that I dated that did not smoke. And
oh my
I will
God,
say,
I need to hear this POV, because I feel like a lot of people just immediately assume that it's just like, oh yeah, it's just all the girls in stoner guy relationships. But it's like, yes, let's talk about the like stoner girl
with a guy that doesn't want to smoke.
Because they do exist. I bagged one. Yes.
Yeah, speaking to this girl specifically,
Yes.
I would ask her how open she is to experiencing cannabis. If you're open to, I'm not saying you need to become a daily stoner, but as someone that smokes daily with their partner, we get a lot of benefits out of being able to share that with each other. Yeah. So if you're open to it, I think that that's really something that could like help her grow in the relationship with this partner. But if she, I don't know, it's hard to tell if you're going to be resentful about something at the beginning or not. But if you can like put yourself in the shoes of, hey, if this guy is going out to smoke or light up in front of you every hour, potentially, that's how it could happen. And if that's going to bug you, or if you're going to see that as like a, oh no, kind of an ick thing at all, you can honestly take a step back and be like, oh no, I can view, consuming cannabis as the same as, scrolling TikTok or drinking a beer, or I don't know, any other kind of vice that we do that brings us some kind of, temporary pleasure. Yeah. And you're not, I'm not annoyed when I look over at my partner scrolling TikTok. He's not annoyed when I'm scrolling TikTok. And that's just a thing that we can both recognize that the other is doing to release stress and bring a little positivity to the moment. Yeah. If you can look at it like any other thing, which frankly it should be looked at like that, yeah. I think you're good without having to consume and let him do what he needs to do, And as I said, I think it would be even better if you were open to potentially participating in that too and seeing what kind of benefits you could get and what kind of benefits the relationship could get from being able to share that together. You don't have to be a stoner with it, but you also cannot let it bother you, because you can't ask them to change that habit if that is part of their daily life and the daily thing. Like, I know here I am saying, hey, would you be open to change? But I do think it could positively benefit you. But if they are already a daily stoner and it's working for them, you're not seeing them as a lazy stoner stereotype, or that it's a negative in their life, then you don't need to come in and trying to change that. Sorry, but I think it's, the other way around. You might benefit from a little change and a little opening the door to that.
No, and I think that's exactly what I would kind of start off with, is that it's about first, I feel like this could be honestly the subtitle for this entire podcast is communication is everything. Communication is everything. And I feel like one of the first things you do want to discuss, it's where you're tapping on, is like, what is your POV? What is your perspective on cannabis like in your life? Because I'll even push back mentioning like comparing it to like a vice. I actually love when Seth Rogen compares it to wearing shoes or wearing glasses, that this is something that as a society we've all agreed will make us more comfortable. Could I go a day without my shoes? Could I go a day without smoking? Absolutely. Would I be more comfortable with these things? And that's not a shoe that fits on every foot. That is something that I'm not because I know there's a lot of people, direct family members, that cannabis is not something that makes them more comfortable or gets them through their day easier. So for them, it's like, it's such a hard disconnect of like, I understand the perspective of someone that only sees smoking weed as a net negative, as something that only makes you lazier or like less active, because that's how it affects them. And I think it's like having that communication of like, oh, hey, like, let's talk to someone who like, you know, has a different body chemistry to me, someone who has a different experience with cannabis than me, who like, was introduced it in a way that, would never cause paranoia. I know, like, I think about being grown up in Georgia, so much of cannabis use in my early years was tied up into like, well, if I get caught, I'm going to jail, like full stop. Like, weed is not something that I want to risk my future for. But now that I'm an adult in a legal state and stuff, like, you start to like take a step back and just like, most negative thing about weed usually is getting caught with weed. It's normally not something that's like the impact, the effect of you. And so it's like, yeah, so that to me is like the first step. It's like, okay, do you see like, what are your reservations around cannabis use in your life? And what is your experience with it? And then also bridging the gap of like, okay, cool, just because they have a different experience and because they could be way more lenient, way more lax and comfortable with it, one, that doesn't mean that you have to be forced to be comfortable with it. Your experience is still your experience. And so it's just about like saying, hey, this is why it makes me uncomfortable. And so it's like, okay, cool. Like, can we discuss that? Even if you're in a relationship, a new relationship with a stoner, then like you can still have the conversation, and this person should be respectful enough. Like, hey, if it makes you more comfortable smoking in a different space, or if you feel like it's something that's like, oh, because you smoke now, we can't do this activity that I want to do together. Like, it doesn't make me comfortable going to the movies because of the smell. I'm worried about the smell. I'm like, okay, fine. Have those conversations.
Exactly. Pinpoint the specific like hesitations into why it makes you uncomfortable. Try and figure that out. Is it just an overall general, oh, I think weed is bad? Or is it specifically a smell issue, what it causes, you became too sleepy and we couldn't go out and do something? Those are all very good points. So I think, looking at it, what does cannabis look like from your perspective? And then how are you going to feel when you see your partner using it a lot?
Yeah. And ultimately, if you're like, I think the goal for this should be that neither person should feel left out of this experience. Like, you don't have to like smoke with them, but it's like, oh, cool. If they're on the couch, like smoking before, smoke before playing video games, and you're cozied up with a hot tea with your new like book from Book Talk, like whatever. And again, it's just whatever you feel comfortable either doing side by side together, or if it's something you're doing together, you understand that like, oh, hey, like he's going to enjoy playing Mario Kart with me more than if he like steps outside, takes a couple of hits, and that's not going to impede on my experience. In fact, if that makes him feel more comfortable being in the space with me, then like, hell yeah, go for it. Like,
exactly.
But you also have to be comfortable and understand that like, oh, it's not like the cannabis should never be trying to build up a wall in between you. It should only be a conduit for deeper conversations, even for more just, I think my favorite benefit of all time of being a cannabis user is the fact that I am constantly thinking into the future. I'm constantly planning. It's so hard for me to remain present. And when we do smoke, when I do take a dab with you, suddenly I have this attitude of gratitude because I am living in the moment. I am sitting on the couch, like here, like with you and stuff. Like I really love that grounding of it. And so it's like, I wouldn't like, if I understood that that's what my partner was getting out of it, I wouldn't want to take that away from them.
Exactly. Yeah. That's such a good perspective. Such a good point to make. And Yeah, I know the girl on Reddit is probably never going to hear this advice, but if anyone is in a similar situation, like, yeah,
Right.
I don't know. That's a really good starting point to just like, you know, it's basic, but communication, and just look at the point of view and why you have that perspective on it and why you have that opinion. So
yeah, understanding the why behind it. I think, honestly, I feel like not too many people like get into the habit of asking why all the time. I think why is my favorite letter, my favorite word, my favorite question. Like, it leads to enlightenment. It leads to starting that discussion down the road of like, oh, why? Like, don't just accept things like that. Honestly, I really think that ultimately also goes back into like, I don't know, just like stoners and cannabis smokers, like you automatically have to have a lot of that mindset of like, oh, this whole world says that this illegal thing is bad for me. Why? Why is that? Let me start making my own judgments, coming to my own conclusions.
all right, so I've got one from Reddit here. Am I the asshole for locking the door when I shower? I'm 40 female. I'm married to my husband, 41 male. And whenever I shower or take a bath, even if I lock the door, he comes in and uses the toilet, stinking it up and ruining my relaxation. It has bothered me for years. We have 2 bathrooms. One has a tub and the other does not. He tells me he doesn't like using the other bathroom, so he has to use the main bathroom. He does have IBS and blames his behavior on that. If I lock the door, he will use a penny or a screwdriver to open it, as it's one of the locks that you can open from the outside. We have small kids, so we don't want them to accidentally lock themselves in the bathroom, so that's why the lock can be open from the outside. I can't take long showers or baths when he is at work because I need to be watching our children, so I have to wait until he's home. Most days I only get a short shower as the kids will start asking for things right away, so I usually only take a long bath every few weeks when I really need to relax. Every time, no matter if he's already used the bathroom before I come home, he gets mad at me for locking the door as it takes him longer to get in. One time I pulled out a drawer under the sink to prevent him from the door being opened an inch, and he got really mad at me over that. He says it's because he has IBS and he can't help it, and that I'm being a jerk taking up the time in the bathroom. I said he could use the other bathroom, but he refuses and says that I should just get over the smell or not take baths. I'd really just like some time to relax alone without smelling like a sewer. Am I the asshole?
Yeah. Well, this feels very like pointed, not just because we take a lot of good baths.
We take a lot of good baths, and like, I don't know, we're also a very open couple that like we do not feel the need to shut the door or lock the door when using the bathroom.
Yeah, I feel like the sign of a good, healthy marriage is, can I continue to have a conversation with you even if there's a bathroom break in the middle of it?
Exactly.
Like,
I don't know. We've always kind of like from the start of our relationship, like never had that be a big deal.
Yeah.
But I absolutely see where this woman is coming from of like, you only get a little bit of time to relax. And if there's a second bathroom,
right,
what the hell, dude? Like,
yeah, that's where my whole
wild.
argument starts and stops with, is just like, if there is a nut, like if you are just choosing for no other reason that it's like the main bathroom, like I don't understand.
Yeah.
Is it a kiddie toilet in the second bathroom? Like there's no reason you can't just, and like give your wife the space. Also, it's so funny, even coming from cannabis use, has been told like, hey, don't stink up this room.
Yeah, we've been there too. Yep.
Like, very much understand. Like, I would never have the attitude of just like, hey, blaze every day. You're gonna have to just like,
you're gonna have to deal with it if you're trying to relax in here. Like, no, that's not being a healthy partner. It's not a healthy relationship.
Yeah, no, especially like understanding how important, like first also the husband needs to understand how important it seems like this bath and this alone time is
for the wife. She's watching your children while you're at work all day.
Right.
And
insane.
It sounds like she's not doing it on a regular basis. And yeah, that there is a second bathroom that you could be using. I would totally understand where this could be a conundrum if there is only one bathroom and you're having to share it. That could be difficult. You got to schedule some stuff out. You got to figure it out. But like, what the fuck, dude? Like, take a shit upstairs. I don't get it.
Right? This is where it's like, no, you guys have to like, you're all part on the same team.
Yes.
Like
you should always be on the same team. Exactly.
Yes.
And like,
if your wife's coming to you with this like issue, you need to like not just like, oh, well, why do I need to change? No, it's that she's coming to you with an issue. How can you make her more comfortable in the space that she has every right to be in and share with you? And so yeah, think about like, Yeah, there's just the fact that he isn't even willing, one, to just take the most obvious solution. Okay, but then it's like, all right, if for whatever reason, if he's just too like much of a king baby to use the other restroom, then it's like, what else is he doing to as a compromise? Is he flushing every 5 seconds? Does he have candles lit before he like sits on the toilet?
You know
like,
he's not. You know he's doing none of those things.
Right? Because there are some ways that you can still show
some compromise. Exactly. Try here. Yeah, the fact that she said she's locking the door and homie's still going in with a penny or a screwdriver to unlock it. I'm like, she's clearly sending a message here, dude. She has asked you. She is physically showing you. And yeah, the fact that you're just not respecting that boundary is a bit of a red flag.
I'm afraid this entire podcast is just going to be like me reminding everyone that the bar is in hell when it comes to men.
It's unfortunate.
And men still trip over the bar. What in the actual hell?
Yeah, that's honestly wild. Okay, I need a little top off here of my beverage. I mean, that was an easy one. I don't really know who's going to be on the guy's side here. If you do, you're wrong. And you're also a red flag. Right. Sorry.
Yeah, and especially even, using the IBS as the reason that you can't be more considerate of a wife.
No.
There's
a second bathroom. There is a second bathroom. It's mind-blowing.
It's wild. The fact that it gets to the point where he is actively unlocking the door, like, I see your request and your desire for peace, and I'm gonna bulldozer right through that with my butt.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna bulldozer.
Literally with my butt.
Yeah.
I've got a couple more here. I think we got some time.
What do we got? Listen, we're gonna be talking about advice.
All right, so... Am I the asshole for walking away from my pregnant wife on the beach?
The bar is in hell. What?
The bar is in hell. So we parked the car at the beach, which is about 100 meters away from the sea, and started walking up. Okay, meters and sea. This is foreign immediately.
Yes. Okay. So, like,
my wife is almost 7 months pregnant and quite a slow walker. I pulled ahead about 15 to 20 meters to get a lay of the land and to see how busy it was, etc. My wife claims when I pulled ahead, I didn't turn back to check to see if she'd fallen over once. I was not that far ahead, and I could have easily heard her if anything happens. I think she is being unreasonable because it doesn't seem like a big deal. We have a very good relationship. We rarely fight, but this seems to have really gotten under her skin. Am I the asshole? Also editing to add, we are on holiday in a foreign country, and it's significantly hotter than the temperature we're used to. I'm also 6'4", and she's 5'1". Fun.
So just so I'm clear. Okay, so the situation is, couple with a pregnant wife,
7 months pregnant,
couple, 7 months
visibly pregnant. Yes,
visibly pregnant. They're walking back from the beach.
No, I think they're walking to the beach.
Okay, walking
meters away from the sand. Yeah. They're going from the car to the beach, and he's walking ahead to be like, hey, can I get a good spot? How crowded is it? Let me spy somewhere to put down our stuff and make camp.
Yes.
And I guess I need to figure out what 15 to 20 meters is. I don't know meters. I'm an American. But that doesn't seem like it's that far away.
Right, still with an eyesight.
And she's and he is feeling like she's made him to feel like an asshole because he walked ahead and didn't turn around to see if she fell down at all, which she didn't fall. She was just mad that he didn't look to see if she fell.
Right, that it wasn't... Yes, and I give, that was about like 30 feet.
Okay, so about 30 feet ahead, not that far. He does claim that he could have heard if something happened.
Yes.
And she's like really pissed about it.
Really pissed that it's just like...
I don't know, I'm siding with the guy here. I think the wife, I get you're pregnant. I get it's hot. But he walked 30 feet ahead of you to like check the lay of the land and check the space. He's going ahead to help the party out, to help you and him out in the situation. He's not walking ahead to get away from you. He's not walking ahead because he doesn't like you. He's not walking ahead of you because he doesn't care about you. He's going ahead to like do something to help the situation that you're in. Let's find a space that doesn't have people and put the blanket down and put the umbrella up, whatever you're doing on vacation. But I guess I could see if it was like a rocky kind of path that didn't have a, handrail or something. And she's like, there's a high possibility of her falling and he's just gone off. But I don't know. Also, did she communicate that she needed help? This is a thing where, like, if you're going to be upset that he walked ahead, did you ask him, hey, honey, I'm feeling hot and tired and pregnant right now. Would you mind holding my hand as we walk down to the beach? Because if you didn't communicate that to him, then he doesn't know that that's what you want.
And that ultimately, yes, communication is
everything.
And yeah, to me, like, that's what I go back to is it's the intent of what the wife wanted the husband to accomplish. So to me, it's like, take away everything from the environment. It doesn't matter if those 30 feet from the car to the beach was filled with mattresses or filled with broken glass. She felt like in that moment, the husband should have been there for her. And it's like, to me, it's like, okay, like to me, it's like, okay, we can understand that, like, okay, cool. Maybe the environment doesn't, 30 feet, like, cool. We can side with the husband, maybe doesn't really call for it. But if the wife feels that, like, hey, like, it's not about what the situation calls for. It's like, how did it make the wife feel? And she didn't feel supported in that area. And I think that's ultimately what this is that, yes, it's a silly, like, molehill to, like, outside of even just like to the husband. But I'm just like, the wife, this might just be like one chip of the iceberg that the wife is saying, like, I don't feel supported.
I could see that. This could be a straw within the camel's back situation for sure.
Yeah. And just like this really got under her skin, and it's like, yeah, then you need to, like, then
why did it get under her skin? Yeah, are there yes. other things similar to this that have been lacking recently? I will say, okay, it could be part of a bigger situation. I do feel like in this one perspective, like, y'all, he said, we have a very good relationship. We rarely fight. So, you're happy. You're on vacation at the beach in a foreign country. Your wife is pregnant. Yeah. Let's just both of you take a step back and focus on that and, realize what's important. So
yes,
I feel like, sometimes you just got to take a step back and look at the perspective of things and be like, oh, we're arguing about you being 30 feet ahead of me.
Yes.
Is that really something we should argue about? Like, I'm pregnant with your child and we're on vacation on a beach in a foreign country. Let's have fun and focus on, like, what actually fucking matters.
Yeah. And to me, it's, I always go back to just, like, the intent of things, because I understand that people, we can have the best interest in our heart and, like, still fail in execution. So to me, this feels like the husband isn't necessarily in the wrong if the husband has the intention, like you said, of, like, looking out for his wife, and you're on vacation, like, he's thinking of so many other things. Mm-hmm. And then the wife could also be correct that she has the, like, I want to have the intention of feeling like I'm being taken care of. I don't feel like I'm doing it. So it's like, yeah, it's like you both just need to communicate that it's like, it's not that it's how you're both approaching the situation just differently, and that you both just need to just get on that same page of just, oh, hey, I'm not apologizing because I think it was wrong for me to walk 30 feet in front of you because I think that's silly, but I am apologizing over how that made you feel and made you feel unsupported. Same thing with the wife. I'm not angry at you because you left me I'm a grown ass woman with a baby. You can leave me for 30 feet. But in that time, I didn't feel supported, and it upsets me. And so it's like, that's what I think is so much of like problems with marriages, is that they're only thinking about, like, oh, well, like, this situation doesn't warrant any kind of, like, apology, or doesn't warrant my time and stuff. Okay, the situation could be a tiny little, like, molehill, but the feelings
that came out of it, and if
can be a mountain.
If you care about your partner, and at the end of the day care about how they feel, then it's not that big a deal to just, hey, I see it from your perspective. That wasn't my intent, but, I'm sorry that this was the outcome of it. And I apologize that, like, I can see where what I did has led to these feelings. And please know that that's not what I was trying to do, but I am sorry that this situation has occurred. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there's no situation that is too small for someone's emotions.
Exactly. All your feelings are valid. Your feelings are always valid. And people need to recognize that. Yeah.
But I'm all about, emotional impacts and, like, intent. What was your intention going into something? Like,
exactly.
I feel like, most of the times it's just like, it's because that's, I don't know. I feel like most guys, like, you have the intention of doing something right, and then you completely fumble on the execution. So that is a lot of time. If we're in any kind of a discussion, argument, I feel like it's 9 times out of 10. It's just like, oh, I didn't realize that's how that came across.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, your feelings are very valid then. Okay. But, like, that was not, but, like, you're not going to judge me too harshly knowing that I'm trying to help.
That's not, exactly. You were never against me. We're never against each other. I'm never trying to, like, go out of my way to do something mean or ill-willed. It's always just, oh shit, didn't think about it from that perspective. I do see how you're looking at it, and I apologize.
And you also should appreciate them sharing their perspective.
Exactly.
I feel like enough, like, people in relationships are just like, oh, okay, fine.
Just
you
let
can
it
feel
fester.
way.
Exactly.
Or like you're just like, fine, I guess I hurt, fine, I'm sorry your feelings got hurt. It's like, no, understand where. Like that is the thing. If you care about that person, you should care about the why.
Yes.
You should care about the how behind it. Yes. Like,
it's funny. I love Reddit is fully labeling this beach walker an asshole.
Yes.
They're like, how dare you walk ahead of your pregnant wife?
Right. How dare you leave someone? She is a mobile care unit for your future progeny. How dare you?
I've got like a short one here.
Ooh.
Let's see. Am I the asshole for asking my fiance if he got the cat litter?
Oh God, this is such a trope of religion, classic.
I love it.
I'm gonna have to ask my if he got the
cat litter. My fiance told me last week that he would buy our cat more litter today. My job is to buy food, and he buys the litter. Our cat's litter box is really, really low at the moment. I politely asked him today if he got the cat litter, and he said no, and not to ask him about household chores because no one likes being asked that kind of shit. It's like asking you if you've done the dishes yet. He became pretty upset, and I'm struggling to understand what the issue is. Am I the asshole?
No one likes to be mothered.
No one likes that shit. No one likes to be asked that kind of shit. Well, sorry, dude. If she said she was going to do the dishes and she didn't yet, and she was supposed to do them, I think you're perfectly reasonable to ask, like, hey, have you done the dishes yet?
Yeah.
No one likes to be asked it, but guess what? She wouldn't be asking you if you already did it.
Yeah, and see, that's it. It's intense in emotion. See, like he's having a negative emotion because he's assuming this negative intent from you that the only reason you're reminding him is to like scold him.
Yeah.
Is to be like, oh, you forgot. And you're just like, no, I'm reminding because shit needs to get done. And I wouldn't need to remind you if you did the damn thing.
Exactly.
It's like,
especially when it comes to a pet too. Like, I mean, as we said, we've got fur babies, we've got 2 cats, and like, I don't know, the dishes are one thing, but I'm like, the cats can't scoop it themselves, guys. They need litter in there, and like, I don't know, that's almost more of a reason to get upset. Like,
right, I know.
It's about the cat's health, not just our health, buddy. Like,
you have these dependents
exactly.
on you.
So yeah, this guy's a huge he's an asshole. She is not an asshole for asking him.
There you go. Yeah. It's like,
it's pretty cut and dry. And I don't know, it is just like, about communication of like, it's perfectly reasonable for your partner to ask a second time if you've done something, if you were supposed to have done it in that time window. And they're just asking or politely reminding you. Maybe you did forget and need a reminder. Like, I don't know. It's not like they're forcing you to do it. Just, hey, can you do the thing you said you were going to do?
Yeah, and it's like, I don't understand why the argument can't be like, if someone says like, oh, you make me feel like a child when you say that, and be like, okay, well, you make me feel like your mother having to
ask you. Exactly.
You see how you're the one that could save both of us from this uncomfortable situation?
Exactly.
Like, yeah. Oh, I love it.
Oh, I love it's a fiance too.
I know. I feel like I love relationship advices for fiancés is like because it's one of those things that, I mean, fiance, like there's your boyfriend, girlfriend, there's your husband, like wife, but for that slim time that you're a fiance, that should be the most hyped up, heightened honeymoon every single day. You should be falling over your damn heels, being so in love with this person. And if you are still feeling trepidation, you're still feeling concerned and worried in the fiancé stage, girl,
take a step back, look at your life, look at your choices.
Look at your choices. Listen, know that there's going to be a fiancé. There's a fiancé out there for everyone that is going to be tickled pink, beyond excited to be with you.
Yes.
And you shouldn't settle for anything less.
Your fiancé. Yes.
Do not settle for less.
Cheers to that.
Yay.
Gotta say, a shout out to any fiancés currently out there. Something that I wish we did more of during that wonderful window of our life was honestly, just book as many wedding tours as you guys can. Even if you found the spot, even if it's insanely out of your price range, go and take the tour and drink the champagne and get the compliments and just live in that little good vibe bubble as long as you can.
Yeah, there's not a better day date you can take as 2 fiancés than being able to just like be carted around in a golf cart into some nice resort grounds, and you're just like, oh yeah, no, we actually were just talking with our planner. We might be actually doubling our budget, so I think we could afford. Like, just live the life.
Live the life.
Live it.
You never never have to call them back. It's fine.
Come on, guys. Right? I know they're going to give you champagne for free. They're going to, a lot of them. They're just going to, and you're going to be like, that's what I love. I've never felt more sought after in a customer position than when
being
we
a
were
fiance.
A fiance
it's
searching
true.
for a wedding venue.
Yes.
You are, that is so good.
I know. Yeah. We toured, I think, 4 places total before we like found the one and then stopped after that. And then it was like, the first year of our relationship, we got back and like took a little trip to wine country and then realized I was like, oh, we should have did this when we were fiancés. I would have loved to have just toured all these wineries as wedding venues. That's what you need to do. So quick pro relationship tip. Anybody currently engaged or soon to be engaged, take advantage of that window as much as you can.
I'll even add on another pro relationship. Never let the honeymoon end. And if you, especially in that first like year or two of you just being newlyweds.
Oh yeah.
Every overnight that's more than a night or two should be a honeymoon.
Put in the notes it's your honeymoon.
It's your honeymoon.
First, as long as you're in the honeymoon phase of your relationship, you could still really start your honeymoon.
Right.
I mean, especially if you've never been to that resort before and probably aren't going back. They don't know when you got married.
They don't know.
They don't know it's not your honeymoon. Why not your damn honeymoon?
You know what they're not going to ask you on check-in? Your marriage license. They're not going to ask for proof, baby.
If you're really worried about it, set a wedding photo as your phone backdrop and be like, look, here we are. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Like, just a couple days ago.
And honestly, it should be the easiest acting you have to do if you're in that kind of relationship where you're just like, you're excited to be checking in into this hotel. Oh my God, yeah. Like,
right? Show up in a white dress. You're good. No one's going to ask any questions.
They're just like fluff up the love story.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, we've had friends that worked in hotels and like, they're like, oh no, we have bottles of champagne to just give to people. Like, it's in the budget. Like, we don't mind doing it. So, yeah.
You're not taking advantage of these hotels. They have the budget.
They have the budget to put a little rose petal heart out on your bed. Why not? That's fun to walk into a room. Yeah, like, you know, always tip the staff, you know, always tip the cleaning staff coming in wherever you stay. But I see no issue with in perpetuity putting that it's just always your honeymoon.
I know. Watch how quickly a couple of your rooms get upgraded because you don't have to get the honeymoon suite to say it's your honeymoon.
No, if it's open, they'll just put you up there.
They'll just pop you up.
You know?
Good pro tips.
Relationship
tips. Yes. That about wraps it up for our very first episode of That High Couple podcast.
So fun. Yeah. Give
a
couple of good advice things here. We got some tips and tricks for relationships in general. And
there you go. Cluing you into our lives a little bit more. We're going to be doing that more on the podcast. Just like, I don't know. I'm excited to see just how we evolve with it. How we just get more into the groove of things.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm expecting, first episode, we got to, get the rust out, get the growing pains over and stuff. So I'm sure, there will be changes and everything coming to this, but I feel pretty good about this first one.
I know, right? As far as us, like, we really put a lot of, that's the thing. If nothing else, we're always very considerate and mindful of like what we're doing. So I feel like we have put a lot of, at least, time and attention into this setup, into the ideas, to like what we want out of this podcast. And so, we really hope it's just giving you everything that we want, which is just like a little time together with us. Yeah, exactly. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you have some advice that you need help with so we can transition off of Reddit and actually help some real people listening to this podcast that will hear the advice. But, in the meantime, we'll keep pulling from Reddit. But of course, email us at thathighcouplepod@gmail.com. Yeah. And we'll be back next week, hopefully with the second episode. New beginnings. I know. And just keep this rolling. We're very excited. I know you made it through the very first day one, episode one. Like, I love it. If you're here with us now, you're now considered an OG forever and always. Oh, snap. Love that. We love it. We love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll catch you next time. All right, guys. Everyone, sending good vibes. Peace out. Good vibes, everyone. Peace out. You. That high couple.
Thanks for listening to the That High Couple podcast. If you're in need of relationship advice, please email us at thathighcouplepod@gmail.com. Just a friendly reminder for this show, everyone should make their own decisions. We're not licensed therapists, just a couple of stoned friends sharing advice. So please enjoy our tips as a friendly heart-to-heart and not as professional guidance. Our theme song is written and performed by Just Shotkey. You can check him out on YouTube at Just Shotkey. Please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to this show on whatever platform you're listening to now. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at That High Couple. Sending good vibes.
In Hollywood, rolling another one. Yeah, they're smoking massive in the dabbing cabin. We're all just having fun. Oh, it's 420 somewhere with that high couple. Yeah, I said it's 420 somewhere. 420 somewhere. Yeah, it's 420 somewhere. The high couple.